I think that means that we are streaming now, and it means it's Saturday, and it means it's time for the weekly Virtual Pipe Club meeting. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm your
Hello,
host,
everybody.
David Dorian Ross, one of the founding members of the Virtual Pipe Club. And as always, these are the fabulous members of the Virtual Pipe Club in the Zoom room right there. Say good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Hello, everybody.
See, they're a friendly
everyone.
group. I do that to prove that they're not scary at all. Well, except for Oliver. So please come and join us if you like. We're streaming over there to YouTube and a couple places on Facebook at the moment, but there's plenty of room in the Zoom room, and I'm not going to give out the secret of what the code is because we often get uninvited guests when I do that. But I'll give you the secret. The code is splashed around many of the different Facebook pipe groups, and all you got to do is go find it or come to the Virtual Pipe Club group because there's where you'll see it, and just come and join us. As we don't have a guest speaker today, but we do have some very interesting topics to talk about today. And if you read the invitation, one of the things we want to talk about is what's in your pipe rotation that didn't cost you an arm and a leg. In fact, what might have only cost you a couple of cents. What is the cheapest pipe that you've got in your rotation? So it's a inexpensive, but good smoker. So not a piece of trash, but a good smoker. And I know that there's a lot of strong opinions about this, but just for the sake of today's conversation, we exclude Missouri Meerschaums and other cobs. So I know that they're great cobs, they're great pipes, and they smoke really well. A lot of you do have them in your rotation, but just for today, what else you got that might have not cost you very much? So we're going to get to that in a little bit, but I'm giving you time to go grab it so you can share it during our conversation today. In the meantime, let's do what we always do on Saturdays and find out what it is that everybody's smoking and what they're smoking it in. And to do that, I'm going to designate my buddy Oliver to take it away.
Yeah, I wanted to try it, see if it works on the arthritis in the toes, but if you're saying it does, this will be good.
Very good. All right. So let me start with our procedure. We should raise our virtual hands first to make sure everybody can say something. Here we go. It's working. All right. So let me start with I'm smoking a little flake. It's a little flake of HH Burley from McBaron. I like it very much, much better than the Amphora Burley, by the way. Just in my opinion, it's a better tobacco. And I have it in a Pfauen pipe. It's a 9 mil with a P-lip. It's pretty standard, and it's from the 60s. So and it's a very, very good smoker. And I got it as a estate pipe a couple of months ago, and I paid, I don't know, $30 or so, and did some maintenance on it, and now it's one of my best smokers. So I'm very happy with that. And with that, I will give the virtual pipe to my friend Stephen.
Thank you, Oliver. Well, my brother came out to visit me, and he brought some tobacco from Fred Diebels in Kansas City. And I'm not sure what it is. The guy did say it was a Virginia. They call it a Kentucky broadcut. And I'm smoking it in my inexpensive Royalton Grabo. And I decided to go a little nostalgia this week and do some half and half in Sir Walter Raleigh. And my brother's smoking in his little golf ball pipe. Same stuff. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Are you two twins?
Oh, he's older by 4 minutes.
We're twins.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And we'll pass it to Bud.
Good morning, everybody. I'm smoking in the club pipe. I just picked up the drop of Sun Bear, Black Locust. And if we're still on that topic of the cheapest, I would still say I have a favorite Bones pipe that for the money, I just can't beat how
That's
good it
true.
smokes.
That's
I
right.
just smoke the crap out of that thing. I telling people it's my favorite pipe because I take it out of rotation, try to smoke others, and it always ends up back in rotation. So that's how much I like it. So, and I'll pass the pipe. Go
Bud,
ahead.
Bud just had to be the first one to jump the gun and get in there. Thanks, Bud. 'Cause we had a plan, you know, we were working a plan, but
All right, sorry about
that's
that.
all
I didn't read your notice.
who are
know
you
what I
passing
mean?
it to
So,
there, sir?
Sorry about that. I'll pass it to Alvin.
Alvin.
Unmute myself. Thank you, Bud.
You're
And
welcome.
that's okay. I was glad to hear that early. You're the first one. I'm smoking my Punto Oro Sabanelli, Punto Oro Gold Sandblast Zulu, and I'm smoking some Perfection, Samuel Goddard's Perfection. It's in English, and the interesting thing about it was, you look at the back reviews, it doesn't get a high rating, but Pipe Stud rated it 4 stars. So that was good enough for me, so I tried it, and I actually like it. So, and let's see, I will send it to DDR. I'm going to ask, you've already said what you're smoking, haven't you? So, but you didn't say what pipe you were smoking.
Well, oops, there we go. It's good. Thank you, Alan. Yes, I'm smoking some of the older version, some of the Dunhill Nightcap, and it's delicious. I can tell you that right now. I was sharing with everybody as I opened the tin, because I just opened this tin. I think it's 2015. I'm going to have to read the code on that. Opened it up, and it reminded me so much, like brought back my boyhood memories of working to pitch out the shit out of the barn. And so that's a wave of nostalgia. And any of you guys who are country know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right. And today
also
I'm
swap
smoking,
the pigs.
you know, right.
Also swap the pigs. So, okay.
Today I'm smoking it in an Eldritch pipe. This is one from Chris Kelly. This is his version of a Dublin, a Cuddy, I guess. And but you know, a Cuddy that's grown out of some devil's bog or something. So, but they're great pipes, great smokers. I love all these. And so that's what I'm smoking today. I am going to pass the virtual pipe to Ramachandran. Take it away, sir. What are you smoking? Up, you're on mute there.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Today I'm smoking my Savinelli 623 Bulldog or Rhodesian. I'm not too sure. I always get confused between these two. And in this, I'm smoking Old Joe Crans of Cornell and D, a fabulous Burley blend, lovely to smoke. And now I'll pass it on to Mike Rizzo.
Thank you, Ramachandran. Today I am smoking a newly acquired Briar Blues 25th anniversary edition Radice. In it, I am smoking some LJ Peretti Boston Slices, which is one of my favorite Virginias. He did an amazing job on these pipes. So far, I love it. We'll pass it on to Tim.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Mike. That's a great looking pipe you have there. I really like those colors. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. It's a really nice, sunny, not so humid day here in Massachusetts. Today I'm smoking this replica of a Peterson patent shape, a big Paul. And in it, I'm smoking some McConnell Scottish cake, one of my favorites, one of my go-to blends that I really enjoy. And with that, I think I'm going to pass the virtual pipe over to Dimitri.
Hello, everybody. I'm starting with one of my corn cobs. That's Busher's American Heritage pipe. And actually, this pipe was more expensive than some of my briars. And I'm smoking Orlik Golden Slice. So starting with something simple. And let me pass pipe to Lou.
Thank you, Dimitri. Greetings, everyone, from Queens, NYC. Today, I am smoking, well, the tobacco first. I'm smoking that Reiner Long Golden Flake, blend 71. That's been in the jar since 2013, tasting very well. And I am today smoking this Vladimir Grichukin, Russian pipe maker. I guess this is a blowfish. Wonderful grain, great pipe that I bought from who I affectionately call the boys in Chicago. That's Alexei and Lev. Great pairing, pipe and tobacco today. So I will pass the virtual pipe to, let's go to Justin.
Hello, everybody. Today I'm smoking some Golden Extra in a newly acquired pipe. It's a huge stone. It's a hand-carved pipe. It's kind of in the Cavalier design. And it's got like the extended thing. Really reminds me of like a Hobbit pipe from the Hobbit movie, the cartoon movie from the 80s. One of my favorites. I just love this bowl. It's my first smoke out of it. So far, so good. How about we pass the pipe over to Ivan?
Oh, hello. Thank you very much. Ivan from Santa Barbara, California, but living in central London. And I'm smoking a Stanwell. I think you would call this a vest pocket pipe. It's a very, very small sort of thing. Goes in your breast pocket or your vest pocket. Lovely for travel. And tobacco-wise, I've got Nording Seaweed, which has a slight vanilla, caramelly kind of aroma to it. And I really enjoy it. And with that, let's pass it on to, how about David Klein?
I don't know how to use this thing. Am I coming through?
We hear you.
Okay.
Can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is my first visit to the Virtual Pipe Club. I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida. And right now I'm smoking my little Chacon pipe. I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida. And right now I'm smoking. And then I'm smoking my Savinelli Brunello Flake, which I just opened. And pretty good. So thanks very much. Thanks for having me. And
well, welcome, David. It's nice to see a new face, and hope that you come back and join this group of reprobates again and again. Love your choice of tobacco. That was what I was smoking last week.
Oh,
perfect.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm still trying to figure out how this Zoom program works.
So are you on a laptop or a tablet?
I'm on a desktop.
So if you look up at the top row of faces on your gallery view, you'll see John in North Carolina, Miguel and Ed. They've all got their virtual hands up. And so just pick one and pass it along.
Okay, well, let's go to John in North Carolina.
Thank you, David.
Let's see, today I'm smoking one of my Ben Wade estate pipes that had for, oh geez, probably had this thing for almost 20 years. And I'm smoking Amphora English blend. I always like to hear people talk about what they're smoking, and they're opening the tin from 2013. This has been aging gently in this pipe probably for a month, and it smokes pretty well. So I'm going to pass this along to the virtual pipe along to Miguel.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our friends. Today, I am actually smoking the 1969 Dunhill 137 FT Group 4 Dublin. I've been looking for this for a good 6 years, and I finally found one, and it's unsmoked. So I'm actually smoking it. In it is this tobacco right here. Is Sutcliffe crumble cake, Virginia Perique. If you love Perique, oh, it's Perique, all right. I saw some, new faces. I want to pass the virtual pipe to our friend Paolo Pasetti. Paolo?
Hey guys.
Yeah, Pablo. Yeah, there you
go. Hey, how's it going? Sorry, Con Ed was here and they were knocking on the door. So, yeah, I am going to start out today with some Esotericus Cardiff, which is a nice Virginia blend. And I'm going to smoke it in my, guess I'll start with my Sir Jacopo, my nice long, I guess this is a Liverpool, similar to a Canadian. And it's a nice warm day here in New York. I just got back from France where I was for 2 weeks. And by the way, if you like smoking, you really should visit France because everybody smokes there and it's welcomed. So, I'm sorry, was there a special question too, or should I just pass the baton?
Just pass
No,
the baton for now.
Unlike Bud, we're holding back on the question till a little bit later.
Got it.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and by the way, I love your idea about going to France.
It's really marvelous. It's like they have a million cafes and bistros everywhere, and all the outdoor tables are smoking. It's not only allowed, it's embraced, and there aren't very many pipe smokers. And in general, pipe culture doesn't seem to be all that strong in France, but there is plenty of smoking going on, and it really brings back the joy of having a nice meal with good food and finishing it off with a nice puff. Really can't be beat. Highly recommended. Anyway, on that note, let's see. I guess, Andrew, you have your hand up. Why don't you go?
I do. Thank you. Hey, guys. Today I am smoking actually a new pipe that our friend Mike from Briar Blues acquired for me. It's a new Costello. This is a Ladoon Opera, shape 44. And probably can't see it all that well in the shade here, but really pretty pipes. My first Ladoon. I like the 44 shapes a lot, and I really wanted to get a Ladoon and asked Mike to find one for me, and he did. And actually, it's quite small, which is nice because some of them tend to be larger and hard to quench, but this one is actually perfect. So, and in it, I am smoking some GLP's Cumberland. It's the anniversary Cumberland, which is nice. And I guess I wanted to share with you guys real quick, if you'll humor me. I thought I'd share since everybody knows Mike. I wanted to give a shout out to Mike and just say I did get in the mail the new pipe of the year, which he just released last week. And this is his 25th anniversary pipe. He made, I think, had Radice make 25 of them, but the silver work on it is really beautiful. And it's a Lavat. Haven't had a chance. I just picked it up about an hour ago from the post office. So I tend to really like.
Yesterday, they're awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pipe. So thought I'd share that. Thanks, guys.
Wait a minute. Mike Rizzo, can you hold yours up again? Now, I'm going to turn it back over to the group view. Yeah, Andrew, hold yours up too, if you would. So I'm just looking at the difference in coloring between these two pipes because apparently Mike has been smoking nonstop since he picked it up.
Nice. Mike, yeah, what did you get this? Is that a silk? I can't quite see. Is that a silk cut or did you get
It's a silk cut with the ruby contrast stain.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, this is a natural virgin, or they call it a pure, which I really enjoy the natural one. So all of mine from Mike are this style, but yeah, it'll hopefully be colored up next time we break it out.
That was the other one I was looking at, but I really wanted, I have a rind Lavat, same thing. And I really wanted a silk cut. And with that ruby stain, I was like, I wasn't in the market for a pipe, but it checked all the boxes I had to.
Yeah. Yeah, those are gorgeous, Mike. Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah.
As well.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna pass the virtual pipe to Kent. I see his hand raised. Kent?
Right. Hello, everyone. I hope you have a great evening, morning, afternoon, nighttime, whatever it is in your time zone. So glad to be with you again today. As soon as I get it loaded up, I'm going to have some stove Black Virginia from Sutliff loaded into this, I call them my vineyard pipe. It's my one of my newest acquisitions. And it's got, leaves and grapes all around. Nice meerschaum, huge bowl, has a slight cant forward. I think you've seen that one before. And as a backup, I'm going to, if this doesn't last 2 hours, which it might, some match holiday mixture in this unknown, probably Peterson meerschaum, and just glad to have it as well. So that's what I'm enjoying today. Let's see, Sean. Let's go a long way. And Sean, how about you go next with the virtual pipe?
Thank you very much. Today I was given a sample of some Wessex curly block from my local tobacconist to try out. So I thought it was appropriate to smoke it in a Wessex Roma pipe, one of the first briars that I picked up. And let's go ahead and pass that on to Ed. What do you got in there today, Ed?
Howdy, howdy. Using club pipe, of course. And then one of the lesser known, lesser rated, but still excellent, Royal Vintage from McClellan, 2016. So nice Virginia mix that enjoying in the humidity and no cast. I've only got a brace on my hand, so I'm much happier.
Looks like an oven.
What's that?
I thought it was an oven mitt, like when you swung it through the screen.
Oh no, it's a brace. Healing hand. So, and let's pass it on to Thomas Bose.
Let me just jump in really quick for a brief, because we got a bunch of new faces in the Zoom room today. You may find that your microphone's been muted. I do that to just about everybody so that we can prevent Zoom from taking over the picture when there's ambient noise around there. But you have complete control over your microphone. So when you're going to jump in with a share or a comment or a question or something like that, just go for it. Turn your mics back on, and don't be wondering if we're trying to keep you from commenting. It's
You don't want
just
to hear my 4 kids screaming in the background? That's unenjoyable.
if you don't mind hearing my 2 dogs barking up a storm either.
I got 2 of them as well.
All right, I'm going to turn it back. Who was next there? Who are we going with?
Me, I
Thomas.
believe.
Thomas Bose.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, very good. Thank you. Greetings from Boulder, Colorado. Another warm day here, kind of smoky. We're getting a lot of smoke from the fires in Oregon. And so it's a good day to smoke a pipe, kind of cover up some of that forest fire smell. I'm going to actually be cracking open this tin of Sun Bear, which I received yesterday. I usually don't go into for fads, but it sounded pretty good. And as soon as I can move outdoors during an intermission here, I'll be giving that a try in the Friday Savinelli, even though it's Saturday. Yesterday I thought it was Thursday and I was just confused, and so I'm trying to catch up. And with that said, it looks like we've got John in North Carolina.
My bad. I've already been. I thought I turned my hand off, but looks like I had.
We got
Get on
Dennis
that.
over there who's
Go again, John. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I've changed pipes. Just spoke something new.
we got Dennis over there who's giving us hand signals, and for once they're something that we can see on screen. So Dennis, why don't you go ahead, brother?
Hello, everyone. The pipe that I got here is the absolute cheapest pipe I have ever purchased because I was looking for a pot shape, so I decided let's have some fun. I went to eBay and looked for the cheapest pot I could find, and this thing says John Kent from France. I have no idea who John Kent is, and it smokes pretty good for 15 bucks, or maybe plus 5 shipping, probably a total of 20. Cheapest briar I've ever bought, and it smokes pretty decent. Got a combination of Haunted Bookshop and Edgeworth Ready Rubbed in here because I started with the Haunted Bookshop, didn't need the nick fit that I got out of it, so I had to mix it with something a little bit more even. And otherwise, it's this combination isn't too bad, period, for the money. What the heck? Let's see. Oliver, have you been called yet?
Yes, I was starting, but we have some other guys left, like Amir, David Martinez, Jürgen, and I see Steve Lee.
Go for it.
Who's first? Steve Lee. You're on mute.
Microphone.
Oh. Here we go.
Sorry, folks. My kid is right next beside me and is being a bit loud. I'll jump in later.
Yeah, perfect. So Steve Lee, go ahead. You are not unmuted right now.
Okay. This is my first time here. I actually live in Ecuador, but I've been on an extended visit with my parents. They're ailing a little bit, and my wife and I have been staying here in Ohio to help take care of them. I'm smoking a Chacombe that I got in the state pipe, 9mm, and this morning I'm smoking some, it's a mix I did myself. I got some 8-state burley, and I wasn't that thrilled with it, so I mixed it in with some Sutliff Black 370, I think, and some Sutliff Perique. And I like that combination much better than the straight burley.
Nice.
That's pretty nice size for the Chacombe. Usually they much smaller. I love that size.
And Steve, welcome.
Thank you.
You know, it's really nice, like I said, to see some new people. And so I have a question before we jump on to the last few guys with sharing their. So what gave you the opportunity to join us today and that you haven't done before, other than, you know, Ecuador is, you know, I don't know if the string from the tin cans stretch that far, but
Yeah. Oh, they probably do. I used to be a member of a pretty active pipe club in Arizona in the Phoenix area when we lived there. And since then, I've moved around a lot. And so I haven't had a chance to enjoy that experience of smoking my pipe with friends and people that I know. And then I found this on Facebook and I thought I'd give it a try. And today I happened to be outside smoking when it came up, and I said, yeah, I'm getting in. So
well,
far,
awesome.
I've had a good time.
Welcome. Yeah. Who's left, Oliver?
What about David Martinez and Jürgen, for example? Jürgen, go ahead.
Then I go on. I'm smoking nothing complicated today. I'm smoking the Scotney from HU in my L-Tank Basic, and later on I will have on another L-Tank Basic the 60 years anniversary blend of Hans Johnny Nielsen, former. It's a special blend from DTM and nothing complicated. So I pass it on to David Martinez. What are you smoking today?
Thank you, Jürgen. I'm just smoking a 1930s Lobat Comoy, one of my favorite pipes of all times. Smokes really great. Today I'm smoking like a Regent's Flake. One of my favorite blends too is from GLPs. It's like a vapor with a touch of Oriental, like Izmir. And if you probably know Sunday Picnic, same version of Cornell and Deal, a vapor with just a touch of Izmir.
I stock both of them in my cellar deep. They're two of my favorite C&D blends. They're awesome.
Anybody left, Oliver? Maybe I think Ian from England or Albin.
No, we have. Wait. We have Amir and maybe Sean. I'm not sure. Sean McConnell.
Yeah, I already went.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Amir is maybe the last one, but he is with the kids. So that's pretty much it. Oh, what about Alvin? You said something?
Oh, I said Alvin and Ian. I think they were left.
Ian Reed. Okay, I'll go. This is my Umpal from Brebbia. And in it, I've got some Erin Moore Flake, which I rather like, actually. Guess that's it then.
It looks like it. Well, lots of different kinds of flavors today, which is always one of my most intriguing things that I find, and lots of new pipes today too. We're going to talk about pipes in just a minute. If some of you guys are joining us over there on the live stream platforms on Facebook and YouTube, today's topic is looking at the cheapest pipe in your rotation. So we kind of, this is a suggestion that Miguel threw my way from reading all the questions and inquiries from the whole club, the whole group there. And we languaged it in a particular way. So it was in your rotation, first of all, which means that it's a good smoker. So, I mean, you can pick up a cheap pipe and it's a cheap pipe, but sometimes you can pick up a pipe for just a few pennies and it turns out great smokers. So we want to know that. And then the cheapest pipe that you can lay your hands on and talk about a little bit. except for we're excluding cobs today. Just because cobs, we know, are great smokers and they cost like 3 cents. So that's our topic for today. We're going to get into that in a minute here. I want to make a couple of announcements early on, because I usually remember to make announcements like at the end of the 2 hours. And by that time, a lot of people have had to jump out and whatever. So you'll miss the announcements. So the first announcement that I want to share with you is, in case you haven't heard, the West Coast Pipe Show in Las Vegas has been canceled. So it was, on the fence, iffy. They were trying their best to hold it this year because, it's been a couple of years since they've actually held it, but it's going to be postponed again until 2022. So if that was on your calendar, now you can take that family vacation.
Did they say why? Like, main reason? I mean, obviously, why,
I didn't catch why, Mike. I was talking to Shane Ireland yesterday, and I was talking about going to West Coast, and he said, no, they just announced, the website just said that they were closed. Probably if you go to the website, it'll give an explanation, but I haven't had a chance.
Actually, I did confirm why they canceled it because I had reservations for it, and the Las Vegas area would not commit to lifting their mandated mask rules.
Gotcha.
And so he had a concern about everybody having to wear a mask at the show, which might be a little difficult. So I think that's the primary reason.
So I have a solution for that. I'll have to wear it one day in the meeting, but I have a mask with a zipper. And I just think, if we issue those, we'll be good.
That's like panties with zippers?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Taking it back out of that note, my son actually just got back from a trade show in Las Vegas, and he said 98% of people were not wearing masks. He saw very few the entire week he was there.
Yeah, that was the explanation.
Interesting to hear that.
Yeah, that's the explanation I got. But when I called my the hotel, they didn't even know it was canceled. I mean, at least the staff.
At PCA in Las Vegas, which was a week ago, nobody was wearing masks, but main reason they canceled, it was just too much work for one person to do the show, and his partner couldn't do it.
Is that it? Okay. That makes better sense.
Well, so I don't know about y'all, but I am now committed to going to Richmond. And so if that looks like one of the bigger ones, because I think Kansas City also canceled. So Richmond might be one of the few that are still on the books.
Don't forget about Columbus.
I know. I was going to make that comment. David, I knew you were going to remind me. Columbus is coming up pretty quick. Is it next month?
Weeks.
It's August, yeah.
Yeah, it's August.
30th, in 2 weeks.
So there's that show, and then there's Richmond, and I think a lot of people are, a lot of the big companies and pipe makers are going to go to Richmond. So that's still on the books. I already made my reservations for the Sutliff Factory tour, so I'll be there for sure.
I'll be there too. So I'll look forward to seeing you, DDR.
Right on. We'll have shirts by then, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, good.
What else was I going to say? The other announcement that I wanted to make, speaking of Shane Ireland, so we have a confirmation date from him of September 11th as the date that he's going to come and be our guest speaker and do a tobacco tasting class with some special straightforward tobaccos, Perique and Latakia, and then some blends that contain both of those things, and talk about, what pipe tasters and reviewers, taste in their mouth and what that looks for. And kind of like, if you've ever done a wine tasting class, it's kind of like going to be like that, a sommelier class.
And the 20th anniversary of 9/11, we should definitely do like a moment of silence.
I know that was a weird date after we booked it, and it was kind of like, But you're right, Mike. We should definitely do a moment of silence at the beginning of that meeting. We are only able to take 20 people to participate in the tasting because Shane's going to send me a bunch of tobacco to ship out. So if you want to participate in this, I'm trying to coordinate with Oliver because he is the master at the polling and everything for the club site. And it's just first come, first served. And then I will send you the samples of the tobaccos, both the tins and the straightforward tobacco. And then the rest of you can kind of hang out and smoke what you got in your cellar, and we can play that way. So as soon as we can, we're going to put that list up on the Facebook group page. Sign up, and then in about a week or so, I'll get the shipment from smokingpipes.com, and then I'll send it out to you guys. So those are my announcements.
Please post which tobaccos will be there. I'm pretty much sure I have all of that. I have few kinds of straight Tariq. I have straight Latakia, so you don't need to ship it to me. I have my own, and I have like a few different few Virginias, few Burleys, and so on.
Totally great. So I figured there would be some of you like that, so that that'll make the group that it's tasting, and the idea behind the tasting is then we'll chat about it, right? And that goes for you guys over there on Facebook and YouTube. Also, if you're in the position that Dimitri's in and you've got a pretty broad cellar, I will be announcing what I get from Smoking Pipes, and so you can grab what's close or grab the same thing and whatever. It's going to be really interesting. So that's my announcements.
Can I have it? Can I have a minute for?
Yes, please. Go for it.
Perfect.
You have the floor.
All right. All right. So, guys, we have 2021, and I'm working still on our new club pipe for 2021. And a lot of information are on our Facebook page. It will be Altinay Meerschaum, and I call it the Turkish L-tank style. So it looks like an L-tank, but it's a block Meerschaum, and it's a very, very nice thing. And I was thinking about a new club pipe, and it should be a little bit unique. And I would say this thing is very unique. So you can find some information on our Facebook page, also the polling, and it looks like that we will go for shape or for the style number 2, maybe. There's some most polls on it. And after we have finished the poll in this month, we go to the pre-order next month. So the price, including worldwide shipping, is $99, and this is a gift, I would say. And so we, as a club, we sponsored any money transfers. So we have a little bit an issue to get to bring the money from the US to Turkey, because PayPal is not allowed there. The fees for credit card, it's too high. So I have to do a bank money transfer. So, and we as a club, we will take care of this fees, but you have to pay just $99, including shipping. And I would say this is really good. When we have the orders in next month, just in the August, I hope we will make maybe 120 to 150 pieces, I would say. After this 31st of August, the pre-order is done. When it's gone, it's gone. So they can ship it out maybe in September, October, because they have an issue with a mouthpiece. It's an Italian acrylic, and the guys can't ship out this stuff so fast right now. So it could be a little bit of a delay. But this is my announcement for our new pipe for this year. So take a look on it, vote for it, go for it, smoke it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Maybe we can make it even 100, and that will help with the extra fees for money transfer and so on.
Yeah.
And
So-
I'm sure $1 won't make any
That's right.
difference for any of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm super
would-
excited. Those pipes are beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And you got it dirt cheap, Oliver. I'll pay the extra buck. Those pipes normally run $150 plus shipping and everything else. You have made my year, Oliver.
Thank you very much, Dennis. I work hard on it.
Yeah, that's what Oliver does. Is he makes our year. Seriously, he does all these great deals for us. It's wonderful. You know, just imagine the last club pipe that we did turned out to be a winner, big time. So I'm really looking forward to this year's club pipe. So thank you, Oliver, for doing that. Remember what he said. Get in there, make your vote, so that we can, decide on a final version of the pipe, and then when we announce it, we'll announce it in the club meeting or whatever. But send us your money. Send Oliver your money.
Yes.
I never see the money, so send it
That's
to
okay.
Oliver.
You can see my new roof.
You can see your new roof. That's right. Cool. Well, today we had, as I said, a theme that we were going to try to talk about, which I thought was a pretty interesting suggestion from the club, from the group itself, and that is, what's your favorite cheap in your rotation pipe, the good smoker, the one maybe that surprised you and whatever. And as we go through there, I'd love to hear if you've got one. Like, I'm not going to push everybody, but if you got a story about how you came on it, like where you got it from, how it came into your possession, I'd love to hear that. So Oliver, why don't you help us out? Take it away. And
Really, again, man, that's stressful today.
I'm making him work for it. Yes.
Oh, let me start with something cheap. Maybe it's it was cheap, or I have no clue. So I bought 2 of these pipes. Pretty classic, P-lip. Both are founds, and the difference is one is with a Meerschaum inlay. Good smoker, and both are from the 60s. And at this time, the price for one of these pipes was around 20 Deutschmark, German marks. Inexpensive, I would say. I have no clue. And I paid for each of them $30, and it came from Bulgaria. So both are the cheapest in my rotation, but both are outstanding smokers. So both are 9 mil filtered. So I can't be happier. Very nice. Another story, guys. Come on. Who's next?
I'll go. So I have 2. The first one is a production pipe. It's Blackmar Briars, which is in England. I think this pipe was like maybe $50, if that. He's got a huge selection, all different. I mean, every different shape you can think of, different, smooth, rusticated. He's got a bunch of different levels. He has second pipes on his page that are, I think they're like $30. So, for a well-made, and this thing smokes like a dream. I mean, I bought it with very little expectation, and it's been in my daily rotation for a few years now. So there's that. And then for a handmade pipe, this is from Garage Made Pipe Tool, or Neil Monnier, who it's not, I mean, it was $100 for a handmade pipe of that style for $100. I mean, you can't touch it. I mean, nobody's making a handmade pipe for anything close to that. But Neil makes amazing pipes. He's on Instagram. I think it's Garage Made Pipe Tool. I think he's been at all the shows and stuff. But I have a little mini Costello 55 shape that I got, which I don't know where it is at the moment. I think it's actually at my shop. But both of his pipes smoke like a dream, and for a completely handmade pipe for $100, it's kind of unheard of. But those are my 2. I'll pass it along, I guess. Let's go to back at you, Ramachandran.
Ramachandran?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll go next.
Yes.
Well, I got two pipes which I would like to share with you all. The first one is actually it's dirt cheap. This is the one. What happened was I had commissioned a carpenter to come and fix a TV cabinet at my place. So while the fellow was doing this work, this idea came to me. I showed him another pipe, a poker, and I said, "Can you make one like this?" He said he'll try. And he did try and did a very good job. And this is the one which he made for me, costing about approximately about 1,500 rupees, which works out to less than $20. And it smokes fabulous. It smokes fabulously. I have not put it in my regular rotation. Obviously, it's not a briar. I don't know what wood it is, but that smokes like a dream and lasts a full almost about 1 hour. That's the one which has recently become a part of my rotation for the past about fortnight. And the other one before that, which was a part of my rotation, is a falcon pipe. This is the one. I got about 2, 3 different balls, and it also didn't cost me much, less than about 25 pounds. I got it from GQT, UK, where I believe falcons are very cheap compared to the stores in US. And this also smokes fabulously well. So this is also a part of my daily rotation. I got about 2, 3 different balls, which I use it for different tobaccos. So together, these two are the best pipes in my rotation, which didn't cost me not even a fraction of a fortune. That's it. So I'll pass it on to now Miguel.
Hello, thank you, Ramachandran. So the cheapest pipe I have that will be part of my rotation every day for a long time now is basically this Sabinelli Melita. This is made from 1972. The story of this pipe is it got stolen basically in 1998 at one hotel in Vancouver. I left it on the table and then somebody snatched it. So I've been looking for it for a long time. So I finally found it. This one in 1972, this Sabinelli Melita is probably, I don't know, about $40, $45, maybe $50. But this is a Sulu. So this started it all. This is the very first pipe I've ever smoked. Is this one right here. And I found one, so I decided to get it. And I said to the guy, don't do anything with it. I'll give you what you're asking for. Just don't touch the pipe. Well, he did. And then he erased basically the logo of the Melita. But I'm happy. It's part of my rotation every day. And I'll pass to Bud.
Hi, fellas. Sorry about jumping the gun earlier, but I wanted to show you that pipe. I ordered from Chris on his website, and I asked for a gnarly pipe, and I put in the comments, could you send me a billiard that has thicker walls, which is what he sent. And if you know anything about the unfinished pipes, you can tell that this one's been smoked a lot by how dark it is. And it's got a nice gouge or crack or crevice, whatever you want to call it, in the bowl there that maybe one day it'll smoke through. I don't know, but on that same side, there's a little bit of bird's eye here and stuff. So anyway, this pipe is the one I was talking about. I just can't get it out of my rotation. The other thing is when I started out, the Per Jensen, I saw some of his videos and his interview on here, and he talked about growing up in a pipe shop that his parents owned. And so I just said, well, I've got to get a Jensen pipe. And so I found a George Jensen pipe on eBay for $25. It's a Wega, W-E-G-A. and it had green stem at the time, which I cleaned up. But again, this is really it's a small pipe, but it's a very good smoker, and that's my finds there that were fairly inexpensive and just smoke like a dream. So let me. Alvin's got his follow suit. I'll follow up with Alvin.
Thank you, Bud. I have my cheapest pipe has this little story to it, and it's this Jersa billiard. It's made in the Czech Republic, and my wife several years ago was on a trip with my granddaughter. She was playing in a soccer match there in Prague, and unbeknownst to me, and as a shock to me, she actually decided to buy me a pipe in a local pipe store there. And she went in, and of course, her instructions were, I want a cheap, show me something cheap. I mean, she's the penny pincher in our family. And he hooked her up with this one. And I think it's a beautiful pipe.
It's a beautiful pipe. I love that.
It's a beautiful pipe. And look at the accent on that. I don't know what that really is. I have to find out someday.
Oxwood, probably?
It might be. And I think she paid $60 for it. And of course, that also endorsed my pipe smoking habit, which she had tolerated very nicely for years, but now she's endorsed it. So, and I get brownie points every time she sees me smoking it. So that's another good thing. So that's my story on that one. And other than that wonderful bargain we got on the other cheap pipe I love is our Bones pipe, VPC pipe. So that was certainly a bargain for us. So those are my two those are my two cheapest pipes, and they're in my regular rotation. So
yeah, let me jump in, Alvin. I have some information about Ilsa pipes. It's a company that makes a lot of factory-made pipes. It's led by the Czech pipe maker Oldrich Ilsa. Oldrich Ilsa, actually, not old rich, as the Americans say. And you find that pipes in the on the downpipe side. They sell it, so you can order it there. And I have two pipes I had. I gave one away, and they are all good smokers.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
The prices are always very reasonable, and you have everything that you need if you start with that. So it was a very good decision from your daughter to buy this.
I thought so too. So again, I'll take my wife with me next time I pipe shop if she can do this well.
Mine is also a good smoker, but it's not my cheapest. But I say nothing else. So go on, choose one.
Thank you. Let's see. Kent, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
Now, I'm assuming it goes without saying that gift pipes costing zero don't count. So I'll leave that one out, which was a nice gift from our son who thinks it's a gift, but I agreed to take it in custodia. So he'll get it back someday. So I define, for me anyway, for me a good deal is something that would cost me less than 30% of what the retail would be today. And this one certainly fits the bill, the Meerschaum that I talked about at the beginning, so I don't have to talk about it anymore. But it is, it was a wonderful, it's one of those antique dealers who don't really have an idea of what they have in pipes and what they're worth. And, they could easily educate themselves with the internet, but a lot of, there are a number of antique dealers who, like my other friends who are age 70 and older, sorry if I'm offending anyone, can't figure out the internet anyway. So I know that's an overgeneralization there. So throw things if you like. So this was about I got this one for $10. So yeah, that's certainly under 30%. The other one, which comes almost to that, is this my backup today. The probably Peterson looks a little like a Barling shape. Who knows what its story is, but to pick up a Peterson like this, even though it's had some wear, for $30, just over $30 is a good deal for me. And again, both of these being meerschaums are the among the better in rotation. And I've only, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 meerschaums, and these two are great ones, except for the one I got for 100% of retail, since it's one of the few pipes that I ever bought new. So that's the story behind those. How about Dimitri next? You ready to tell us about yours?
Sure. Well, actually, I have quite few estate pipes which I got for $10 or less, but the cheapest brand new pipe which I bought from retail store is this one, which is unfinished Savinelli. One day back in 1990s, I would say probably like around 1997, I walked into Nat Sherman's store. I wasn't going to buy any pipe, and one of the salespeople told me, "Oh, we got new unfinished Savinelli pipes." So I took a look at them, and I couldn't resist. I bought this unfinished Savinelli for $30. And it's one of my favorite pipes. I wouldn't trade it for $300 pipe. And let me pass the pipe to David Klein.
Thank you. So I have, I guess I'm on. If you can hear me all right. So I'm smoking this little pipe. It's a Royal Danish number 937, which is a partially rusticated bent volcano, I guess, and it's a sitter. So that makes it nice. I can put it down on the table and it doesn't spill out the tobacco. And I don't remember what I paid for this. I'm thinking it was probably about $20 or $30. But I bought it back in the 1970s when I was in the Army. And my Army pay at that time was only about $325 a month. So this was about 10% of my monthly paycheck back when I was working for Uncle Sam. But I've had this. This is the oldest pipe that I have. It's a great smoker. I like it a lot, and I'll never get rid of it. It's a good friend.
Super unique shape. I love it.
Yeah, it's very fun.
It's a classic one. It's a classic one.
And I've seen them on the internet. You can still get estate versions of this. And they're still not expensive. Even if you find one on the internet, they probably go for 50 or 60 bucks now. But anyway, I enjoy it a lot. So I'll pass it over to Jürgen Grodnager.
Yes, right. Well pronounced. Thank you. So my cheapest pipe, and it's a hell of a smoker, is my first pipe that I ever bought. It is, I don't think it's an Italian brand. It's a Venini. Maybe Dimitri knows something about it. I haven't found anything about this brand. It's, I think it's from Dene Cotea. So it's very common as a house brand in many pipe shops in Germany here. It cost me about 30 euros. It was 2002. I started in February with pipe smoking. So, and I smoke it very regularly, mostly with aromatic tobaccos, because I started that with horrible aromatics, so I can smoke vapors out of it. But it's a good smoker, very great pipe. And another one that I really like and was also not that expensive is also a Faun. The line is called Basic, and this was a pipe that I bought for smoking flakes, maybe 2004. And I like this pipe a lot because it's perfect for smoking my flakes. Of course, 9mm filter, and it has a P-lip too. So for all that you don't know that, you can order every Faun pipe with a P-lip stem if you ask your local dealer for that. So he had to order that from the factory, and they can make it. You only have to add a P at the number. So you get every pipe from Faun with a P. It's not that common anymore, but it's possible. So that's my two pipes. And of course, the club pipe from last year is also a hell of a smoker, but you know that anyway. So I pass it on to Luis Carbone. Show us your cheapest and best smoking pipe.
Thank you, Jürgen. I wasn't going to raise my hand and talk about this one, but I guess I really should share this, and I'll try and be as quick and brief as possible. So it's certainly not a cheap pipe, okay? You can see from there, it's a Dunhill LB, okay? And so basically the backstory of this pipe is this. Back in 2018, very dear member, probably best friend of mine from the New York Pipe Club, passed away. His name is Dan Silverstone. He was a great collector of all pipes, had thousands of pipes in his collection. But the LB, Dunhill LB, was his favorite shape and favorite pipe to smoke and collect. He had tons of them that we later found out. So on the day that he passed away, his widow called me to tell me the news, which was very shocking. And I happened to be at on that day, working out of a location for the bank that I work for in Staten Island. And when she told me the news, I was shocked, could not believe it. He was sick for a while, but we really didn't know about it. And in any case, so I got out of the office, just take a little walk, try and clear my head. So lo and behold, I stumble upon an antique store on one of the blocks that I was walking down, Victory Boulevard, Staten Island. And so I always, if I see an antique store, I always pop in, see if they have anything in the way of tobacciana. And so I walked in and I saw a bunch of pipes in his window. And I said to the guy, other than what you got in the window, which didn't really look like to be much, do you have any smoking pipes? And he brought out a rack of a few pipes that the stems were completely oxidized. I mean, they were completely beat up, okay? But one stood out, and of course, I couldn't miss the white spot. So I saw that immediately, and I grabbed it. And I looked inside the bowl. He had a tag. It said $40. So I says, okay, $40. Now, I knew what the pipe was. I looked at the date. It was a 61, which happens to be my birth year, okay? So I truly believe that Dan sent me on that walk, sent me in that store, and allowed me to find a 61 LB, okay, in his favorite shape in my birth year. Now, granted, the pipe this stem was completely green, gray, I mean, horrible. And so I says, all right, you know what? I can't not buy this pipe. As bad as condition it was. And by the way, it was like almost unsmoked. So whoever had it really never, really never did much to it at all. And it looked like it was kept in this guy's window because of the way it was oxidized. So I said to the guy, listen, I said, you know, the pipe's a mess. I didn't want to take advantage of the guy because he obviously didn't know what he had. I said, would you take $25 for the pipe? He says, yeah, sure. You know, fine, that's great. So I got this pipe for $25. Okay. And believe me, it looked like it could have been worth $10 when I had it in my hand. So I post this little story in the Pipes Magazine forum at the time in 2018, explaining the whole connection with my good buddy Dan that passed away and all of that. Well, wouldn't you know, a fellow by the name of, and you probably heard of him, George Debos, he saw the story and he read the story. He contacts me and he says to me, Lou, he says, I read your story. It touched me. He says, send me that pipe and I will make it look like it just came out of the Dunhill shop for free. I says, no, you know, I can't, you know, he insisted. He wouldn't take anything for it. I sent him the pipe and it came back as if it just got off the line out of the Dunhill shop. If I knew a way magically through the computer to show you the before and after, the before shots of what this pipe looked like, you would not believe. So not only has that sentimental value in the connection with Dan, but to have George then see the story affect him to the point that he reaches out to me to restore this pipe to brand new finish, all for $25.
That's an amazing story.
You know,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Congratulations.
That's
Congratulations.
incredible. And George has done wonders. I sent him a bunch of pipes, not a bunch, a couple of pipes that he has just done unbelievable work for. But what's I going to say? This pipe, the sentimental value alone, you know, you cannot even put a value on. I'm sure, as we wanted to discount corn cob pipes, so I'm sure I spent less on clays and, you know, that kind of thing. But I mean, as far as a pipe in my rotation, $25, and it turns out to be this, you know, it's pretty special. So that's my little story.
Wow, Lou, that is a fabulous story, man.
Kudos
you know,
to Dan, kudos to George.
I know you said that you had considered, you know, not telling the story. I'm so glad you did, because that's the kind of history and mystery that a pipe has. I love the cosmic kind of possible
incredible
connection. You know, that's really awesome, man.
I think
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank
You want to
for
pass it
sharing
on,
that,
Lou, to the next guy? It's got a tough act to
beat
follow.
that?
So
Yeah,
whoever's
how
going.
do you beat that? Thanks, Lou.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
Lou, I'll give you
Thank
50
you.
for it.
What's that?
I'll give you 50 for it. Double your money.
Sentimental value. Can't put a price on that.
Can't put a price on it. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Lou.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Lou, go ahead and pass it to somebody.
Okay, let's see whose hand is up here. Let's go down the turnpike. Andrew.
Thanks, Lou. Yeah, that's a fantastic story. Definitely a hard act to follow. I won't try. So a couple pipes I can share with folks. My first pipe actually that I bought not that long ago, because I haven't been smoking that long, but this Grayboe Grand Duke, and cheap. You know, these are, I think I got this for maybe $30, but I still smoke it, and it's an excellent smoking pipe. And for a cheap pipe, I know there were drugstore pipes too, and works great. The other one that I'll share is a little more expensive, but not much. And similar to Dimitri, mine's just newer. This is a Savinelli Series 3. I got this from Eddie Gray at the Pipe Nook. This is a 9mm pipe, but just a fantastic smoking pipe. I think it was less than $50. I think I got it on sale actually, but just a great pipe, and they color up beautifully, smokes great. So another cheaper pipe that I really enjoy. So, all right, let's see. Looks like Ed, you're up.
Cool. I don't have my pipe with me because it is actually up north. But after the Country Squire Awards this year, Rob Bowden, who couldn't make it, he's trying to fix a door at his cottage, went out and found a couple of the Glen pipes, which nobody knows do they make them or anything else. And he's like, for $12.50 a piece for the Stommels, let's try them. So he picked up 2 Stommels for $12.50, and then I went and got stems for him from Paul's Pipe Shop. He had some pre-made stems that fit perfectly in these things for $11. So for $25, we got these Glen pipes, which are ugly as all get out.
We lost your sound there. See, that's what happens, Ed, when you say that the pipe is ugly. The pipe gods just come down and cut you off.
So it's not one of those that everybody's going to look at and say, "Oh, that's a beautiful pipe," but it smokes well. And then while we were at Paul's with them and talking about them, we were talking to Dan about doing something to level out the bottom a little bit better. And one of the guys there is like, "No," he's like, "Don't even do that." He's like, "Go home, take a toothpick, put some honey in the bottom, and let it sit for 24 hours, and then put half a bowl in, smoke it all the way down to the bottom. And the key is to get it really hot." And he said, you may have to do it a couple times. I did it once, and it leveled it just perfectly with that little bit of honey at the bottom. Smoked it through, and right now it's up north. It's my morning pipe, and I usually smoke a Burley blend, one of the early morning pipe type blends, in the mornings in that. So that is for $25. I can't beat it. So that's my story. And let's see, who's still got John in NC?
Thanks, Ed. I've got, see if I can get this into the camera. This is a Noon Paul. This is a basket pipe. I lived for many, many years in Richmond, Virginia. And there was a tobacco shop there called the Tobacco House. And they would get these seconds. They'd have them stamped with their name on it. You probably can't see it, but it's got their name stamped on it right there on the stem. And this was right next to a photographic shop that I used to go to. This is back when I worked for Reynolds Aluminum, for the can division there. And when I would go down to drop off photographic work, I'd drop into Tobacco House and see what they had. And I always rummaged through their basket pipes. So I picked this up. I probably bought this around 1982, and I'm betting that it cost less than $20. This has been what I call one of my work pipes. When I work in the yard, I tend to be a clencher. So I'm pushing a lawnmower around, or I'm raking or doing whatever, and I've got a pipe hanging out. And this hangs well, it balances well. And I've had it, it's got a super cake in it. And it now smokes cool and sweet no matter what I'm doing. So that's kind of my story about an inexpensive pipe that I've had forever and hopefully will. It shows no signs of burning through or spotting or any other weird thing. So I'll keep using it while I'm doing my tasks around the house. So that's about it for that. I'll pass this on to Amir now that he's with us.
Hey, thanks, John. Good morning, everybody. So today I am smoking my Nording. So today's story is about this Nording. Actually, it is not a cheap pipe to start with. I think it's around $100 if you want to get it a freehand today, Nording. But I get this as an estate. So I bought it in a lot. The pictures were awesome. I think it will be a nice pipe. Nothing wrong with it except for some oxidation. And then I got it for like $15. When the pipe came, as you can see here, there's a burn through. This black spot over here. It's like there's only 1 millimeter of briar left there. You can flick it and broke it. It's like I felt cheated at that time, and whoosh, threw it in the bin, and it was in the bin for almost 8 months. And then and the chambers are all cracked. It was terrible. So at that time, I was learning how to restore pipes. So I learned most of my restoration techniques from George himself, also from his YouTube videos. So I wanted to try to, rehabilitate the chamber with something, because at that time people were asking me, can you fix cracked pipes? So I was, I'm against, putting up briar dust inside the chamber. So I was thinking of a way of using a clay epoxy. It's white in color. Some might know the brand as Bondite. So I tried this on this pipe. And behold, when I tried to smoke it, at that time it was 7 years ago, so I don't have a lot of pipes, maybe around 4 to 5 pipes. It was among the best smoker I ever had. And it was like, I'm so glad I did not throw the bin away. For 8 months it's in the bin. So
Great story.
yeah, so that's the story. Anybody else? Help me? Let's see.
Tim Heineck, you can
go ahead.
Okay, well, I have 2 pipes. One is this LJ Peretti basket pipe that I bought when I first came to Boston, and this is what really got me started on smoking some better tobaccos and getting involved with Peretti's and being with them for the past 40 years as a customer. Just a inexpensive basket pipe, but it smokes really well. When I first got it, I smoked the daylights out of it, as you can see. And the second pipe I want to talk about is this Sherlock Holmes Pipe Club Pipe of the Year, which was made by Jay Allen, who we had on, on our show, on our club meeting, and talked about his pipes. And it's just a really, reasonably priced black sandblast that has a really elegant, kind of fine, subtle sandblast, and just really nice lines that go together with the stem. And it's just a great smoker. And that's my story. I'm going to pass it on to David Martinez.
Thank you, Tim. I got 3 stories. I'm going to be brief and try to get them all in no time so everybody can talk. First one, when eBay used to be fun and you can find a lot of things and not everybody bets because he's a friend of a friend, so you could collect more money. The funniest story about this is a pod GVD from 1940s. Funny thing about this pipe is the fact that it cost me more the shipping than the pipe. Nobody bet on this pipe. I'm talking about 2010. $2, shipping $3.95. That's the first funny story. Shipping was more expensive than the pipe, and it smokes like a champion. Second one, I got here. This downhill about 3, 4, 5 years ago, when I went to Columbus, after being so many times, it's like, be careful, take it easy, don't spend $100 in the first try, in the first 10, 15 minutes, buying. I go to this a table after going through a few, and I guess it was this guy selling his dad's pipes and tobaccos left. He got a tag. It's not even it. I renegotiate, try to be cheap, nothing, at $40. It's an small Apple downhill. Pretty much in perfect condition. And so, okay, yeah, great. Do you mind if I borrow it for a second? I went to a friend of mine who knows a lot about pipes, and I asked him, hey, do you know for $35, $40, is this a true downhill? He checked everything under, perfect. It was true. I went straightforward, bought him 6 or 7 old tobaccos he got, like 10 Russians from 2012, things like that. And he actually was so nice that he gave me like a 5% off, and I paid $35 for this beautiful downhill. Don't smoke it that much, but it's a beautiful one. And the last one, and even better, it cost me more. It cost me $70. But one time I was traveling for work and I went to this tobacco shop, get inside, see between their box of like pipes they had, and I found this downhill 1918 and a smoke. And I said, how much you want for that? Thinking, well, he wants probably $1,000, $500 or something. He said, well, how about $70? My eyes were like, yes. Hold on, how do you want it, in cash or with a credit card? So I have an smoke 1918 downhill for $70. And when I how about my eyes were like, yes. Yes. I asked a friend of mine, he says worth probably $800, $900. It's still in one of the boxes and smoke, and I'm not even touching it. But that was like probably the best one I ever made. And I can pass to Glenn, Minnesota, since he joined after us.
There, I'm unmuted. Hi to everybody. Just got back from a parade, so I missed the first half of the session today, but I'm here now. My pipe with a story is from my college days when I discovered Sale tobacco. And Sale had an offer if you sent in, I think it was 3 coupons, you would get a free pipe. So I sent in 3 of my Sale coupons, and they shipped me this kind of strange looking Nording with a very steep cut on one side, but it actually has part of the root growing out of the pipe. So there's a little tiny root growing out of it, which, to me makes it pretty appealing. So I've had this for 50 some years. It was not my first pipe, but first one I got basically for free for smoking a particular tobacco. And that's about it. Who else needs to speak?
Well, I'll jump in. First of all, because I wanted to share some of the stories that are coming up on the chat over here from the bunch of guys who are watching us over there, and men and women, because Steph is over there. So Steph, good to see you as well. But Andrew, just for you, I think Eddie Gray's been here. Eddie, I don't know if you're still over there or not. Might have jumped in and jumped out again. But he shared that he has a Molina Volcano that he got for $50 about 7 years ago. It says it's an excellent smoker. And he says, I've been looking for another, but I can't quite find it. So he says, I think he found it on eBay unsmoked. So I thought that was a great story. Mutton Chop Piper's been on over there watching us. Mike from Cane Rod Piper and also Mike from Briar Blues, both been over there on. So it's a great day. It's an awesome day with everybody. Okay, so I have 2 pipes that I brought to talk about. And it's probably no surprise to anybody that the first one is our club pipe. And I have to make a confession that when I first got the club pipe, I was lukewarm. I haven't ever really had a I don't know where that music is coming from. Let me see if I can get rid of it. There you go. I haven't really had a paneled pipe before, and I wasn't sure if I liked the shape of it and everything. Then I started to smoke it, and man, oh man, what a great smoker. This is just. So Chris, if you're out there, watching, this is just a fantastic pipe. $35. Can't imagine a better smoking pipe, and I've got quite a few of them. And then the other one that is also in my rotation, great, one of my favorite smipes, is another Bones. I had bought this just before I got the club pipe. It's a little nose warmer here, but it's got a massive bowl on it, and you can see how dark it is. I smoke this puppy all the time. It's just really a great smoker. So, they're not the sexiest pipes that you get, but I'll recommend Bones pipes to anybody to pick one of those up. So
Seeing those color up like that's really cool too.
yeah, it really looks
Yeah.
good.
I'll second David. I mean, obviously I'm smoking it now. I've also got a little short sitter that I love. That's a regular one on my go-to. So great, low cost, excellent quality pipe.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
And but if you're concerned about the gnarly big sandpit on your Bones pipe, don't worry about it. It won't burn through. That's just how briar is. If there's sandpit, it's not like a crack when you smoke very hot. It's just there and it won't enlarge or anything.
Oh, cool. Thank you. It adds so much character to that pipe. So
I love them both. And it was I think one of the things that makes them special for me is that I was totally not expecting it. You know, I'll admit to a little prejudice on it as like, like I've got all these other really fancy schmancy and, higher end pipes. And then along comes this unassuming little guy. And it was like, blew me away. I get more pleasure out of smoking these Bones pipe probably than any of my other pipes.
Suggesting you were a pipe snob?
It could be. It could possibly be. I resemble that statement. Well, okay, we got a little bit of time left in the meeting today, and there was a couple of things that I wanted to maybe steer us into for some additional conversation. And one is, I think, I won't even open this up to conversation this week because it'll take over and we'll be here for another 2 hours. So Tobacco Business Magazine recently published a news article about the most recent FDA ruling, or the congressional ruling on the FDA deeming regulations as it applies to cigars and pipe tobacco. So the attorneys from the tobacco, especially the Cigar Tobacco Association, whatever they call their group, this is definitely a tactic on their part, that they suggested that the FDA had not supplied sufficiently clear instructions on the deeming regulations so that non-cigarette, non-roll your own, those kinds of tobaccos, but rather pipe tobacco and cigar tobacco products, how they would follow the new deeming regulations. And this case went to court, and it took however long it took, but the court came back and said, nice try, Tobacco Association, but no, the FDA doesn't need to spell it out. If you got a new product, it still has to, be registered and paid for and all that other kind of stuff. So that, sets us back a little bit in the entire struggle to exempt pipe tobacco and cigar tobaccos from the really draconian. By the way, they're draconian, but I agree with them. Like, I am not a fan of cigarettes, and I'm not a fan of selling cigarettes to children and all that kind of stuff. But we're lumped in with a lot of other products, and so that makes it tough on us, right? So anyway, that's a bit of news, and let's talk about it next week, perhaps. Maybe we can chat about that next week. But I will say we've got some time to talk about this guy, or the newer version of this guy. So this is my tin of the Dunhill Nightcap, but Tobacco Business Magazine, in their infinite wisdom, has voted the Peterson version of Nightcap as the best tobacco blend of the year. So question, do you agree or disagree? And if you, well, either way, like, what's your reason?
Because it's English. It's an English blend.
So is that good or bad, Mike?
That's a negative. If it's
But
not
the
a Virginia
question
or
is
Pittsburgh,
how
it
much
can't
money
possibly be the,
Scandinavian put to be selected as the number one.
That's a good question. Well, I jump in because I had English phase in the mid 2000s, and one of the tobaccos with Latakia that I liked the most was London Mixture and Nightcap, and it's a historic blend, long on the market, and it was always some rumors about it's very strong. Well, it's very strong in flavor, but not in nicotine, in my opinion. So I like that a lot. So I think, yeah, and I had a tin of the newer version last year. I smoked one bowler out of it, and then I made a little experiment with pressing the tobacco together with aromatic blend with vanilla aroma. Well, that's not for everyone, but I think, yeah, you could think if you like English blends with Perique, of course. But as David says, we don't know how many money SDGs spend on that. So in my opinion, it's always it's also a good blend today. So why not?
Well, I think the one positive you can take away is that it is nice that the blends continued, right? That they kept them around and they didn't go away, and they are supposed to be the same, right? Same manufacturing process and everything. So it's not really a new blend, but I don't know. I think from my view, at least it's good they're still here.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, yes, it is good English tobacco, but I wouldn't call it best English tobacco or best tobacco. Like I had better English from GLPs or Esoterica, but it is good blend. But I definitely wouldn't want it as the best tobacco of the year or even best English tobacco of the year.
Yeah, I've never gotten anything. I've tried Nightcap. I've only tried the Peterson one, and I'm a big English fan. And actually, London Mixture was my first really solid tobacco. That was my first non-aromatic after my newbie aromatic phase, and I had English London Mixture, and my mind was opened by how much I enjoyed it. But Nightcap, it's always been flat for me. I guess it's just the peculiarities of everybody's palette, but I get a little bit at the beginning and then it just flattens out and it's just kind of ashy and peppery for me.
Yeah, I agree with Pablo. I mean, when I first smoked Dunhill Nightcap, it was blend. It was like this, right? But if you would to age it around 5 years, it will be awesome. And you need to smoke it in a big chamber, 22 millimeters and above. 5 years.
Okay.
I promise you that.
Yeah, well, it's aging, I think, close to 2 years now. So I think I smoked it about twice. So it's sitting in the drawer. I'll give it a shot again. Well, honestly, that is very, it is funny how that happens. That, and not even just the aging, but just opening the tin up and letting it kind of breathe for a little bit and then closing it and coming back a few months later. Sometimes the tobacco is just transformed by that. It's one of the mysteries of tobacco.
Any other opinions on the Peterson Nightcap? I will say, like I said, this is not the Peterson. This is the Dunhill version, but it is a much different smoke. It is a much different, and I think this is 2015, so a much different flavor than the Peterson that I had.
Yeah, well, 2015, it's actually same tobacco as Peterson because it's same manufacturer, it's Scandinavian Tobacco Group. The only difference might be only because of the aging of the tobacco.
Yes, and a couple other additions to that are like, yes, Scandinavian make a good transition from the original Dunhills into Dunhill made by them, and now Peterson is the same thing, nothing has changed. But if you compare with the original, the big change is the Syrian Latakia versus the the other one they make now. So it's a
Yeah.
consistent blend. It's really good,
Cyprian.
but it's never been the same. It's the same example as Balkan Sobrani. Balkan Sobrani used to be really clear. The Virginia, the Syrian Latakia, and the Yenish. While now it's Cyprian, same Virginia perhaps, and it doesn't have Yenish. It has a combination of Oriental. So it's not the same, but it's a consistent blend. And I think this year, many other houses made or brands make many good blends better than that one to be selected as number one. That's what I think.
Exactly.
well,
Are we awarding special points for saving blends or for taking them over from one arm to another arm? It just doesn't make sense to me. There's so many. I think probably well over half of us could just think for a split second and name a blend from last year that was head and shoulders above there. Last year's Sun Bear, for instance, things like that. There's just some really good blends out there. To choose this one is just it boggles my mind. Sorry.
Yeah, well, also difference between original Dunhill and Scandinavian Tobacco Group Dunhill, mostly, not just Latakia, but they use different Orientals and in most cases, different Virginias. Yes, they are good tobacco, but they are definitely different from original Dunhill.
And we also talk about a very old tobacco. So there was a transition from Dunhill to Murray's. And there are a lot of very old smokers who say the original Dunhill version was way, way better than the Murray's version. And the same story with the transition to ASTG. But we're talking then about tobaccos that is nearly 50 to 60 years old. So we cannot compare that. And it's always with competition like that. I like a little bit of Scotch whiskey from time to time, single malts. And there are also competitions and people who review it. And they announced last year, maybe, or for two years ago, Nika blend from Japan as the best whiskey of the world. What means the best whiskey? And to whom is the best whiskey? It depends on yourself and on your palate. If you don't like that blend, for me, the best whiskey is Lefroy, because that is what I enjoy the most.
I agree. Lefroy 10 is the best.
Yes.
I'll take Lagavulin over Lefroy any day.
But if you don't like smoky whiskeys, it is horrible.
If you like a peaty whiskey, that's the one that you want.
Hey, but that Nika coffee is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great whiskey. That is no question. But if you don't like it, and the same with tobaccos. If you don't like English blends and especially blends with Perique, if you don't like Perique, what will you say to Nightcap or every other Perique blend?
Yeah, and I sometimes wonder if there isn't, because you hear both things a lot. You hear people say, well, the tobacco used to be way better 30 years ago, 40, 50 years ago. But then there are others who say we have much better tobacco today. We have many more brands. And in the old days, it was just this kind of bulk stuff that was kind of churned out. And I do sometimes wonder if there isn't a sort of a rose-tinted view of the past. I guess we'll never know, because we need a time machine to figure that one out.
Well, 30 or 40 years ago, tobacco was different. Some of it was better than now, and some new tobaccos are much better than most of tobaccos were 30 years ago. It all comes to individual tobacco and to individual taste.
But go ahead and jump in, but I see you have your hand up over there, brother.
No, I was just wondering, so that was based on who voting for?
That's a good question.
How was that?
That is a really good question. So the article did not specify. So my assumption is that they have their own, editorial staff at Tobacco Business Magazine who made this pick. I don't know if they've got a bunch of tasters or official or reviewers or whatever. I thought it was interesting that of all the tobaccos, and I think Pablo was, pointing this out, like of the many, many different blends that come up year to year, and what we've got going, GLPs came out with a couple of great new blends this year. Why they would pick Peterson Nightcap? I happen to love it, but oh my gosh, it's like saying, I think Ford Galaxy is the car of the year.
It's probably a guy that like doesn't really smoke tobacco, and that's like the most famous one that he knew, and went, "Oh, this is the best one," like that type of deal.
I think it's similar with the cigars, right? I mean, a lot of people feel that the cigars of the year from that are voted are, those are paid. It's also endorsements and whatnot that get those. So,
yeah, talking about different blend though, I always admire McClellan, because McClellan basically closed business because they couldn't. One of the main reason why is they couldn't actually source the same, caliber of tobacco. And Mary and basically her husband decided to close down McClellan because the important thing for them is they don't want their name associated basically to a less quality kind of blend. So every time I listen to Brian Levine and I listen to Mary from McClellan, I mean, talking about different blend, I mean, Nightcap Dunhill, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago or 20 years ago, is it the same quality tobacco that they're using to Peterson? Maybe it's not, or I don't know. But I always admire a company like McClellan. I mean, I can tell you, they can probably sell that name to basically to resurrect basically McClellan, but they're not going to do it because they don't want their name associated to basically a subpar, blend that somebody can just buy it and then, release things that they don't agree with.
Yeah, well, they actually had a lot of offers to sell the company. Yeah. They refused. Yeah, and the three main reasons why they closed. First, they couldn't get the same kind of tobaccos they used in many of their blends, especially Red Virginia of same quality. Yep. Second reason, FDA regulations, and third reason, Mike McNeil's health problems.
Yeah.
So, and I really respect the decision to close, either than let somebody or continue themselves make inferior tobacco. They just didn't want inferior product to be associated with their name. So I would rather remember great McClellan tobacco I smoked before than have tobacco by the same name, which is not the same.
Yeah, one of our guests, Ernie Quintaliani from Watt Cigar, I vividly remember the thing that he said on that meeting, because one of his blend is so popular, and I don't know if you guys remember what he said. I'm concerned about the quality control on this, because for him, he can sell hundreds of grams of tobacco, but he's more concerned about the quality and the quality control. Those are the kind of people that I love following or buying blends. Because for them, it's not about, at the end of the day, in order for your business to survive, it's all about dollars. But these people, especially the McClellan people, I mean, they, like what Dimitri said, they could have sold this millions of dollars. Somebody will buy it. But for them, no, it's not about money. I don't want my name to be associated with subpar product. That's the way I look.
This is a very interesting topic because tobacco is an agricultural product, right? Much like wine and or tea. And so year to year, you have a different crop. And, for a company whose very existence depends upon a consistency of turning out product and selling it, like Scandinavian or, McBaron, well, that's the same thing, but Cornell and Deal, whatever, you have to make do with what you can get. The buyers that can buy in enough quantity can get a better selection of tobaccos, but it's still the best you can get. And from year to year, the best you can get might still suck. But on the other hand, on the other side of that, from year to year, you could come up with, a batch of tobacco, a shipment of tobacco that is so good that it becomes a vintage, like wine does. You same vineyard, same bottler, puts it out, but yet 1 year is just, classic.
It's a
I
great
can tell you
concept, too.
another McClellan story. When they decided to make Arcadia tobacco, it's from the 221B series. Well, Arcadia was a very old English blend from 19th century. If you read My Lady Nicotine by Barry, same man who wrote Peter Pan, he actually dedicated 2 chapters in that book to Arcadia tobacco. So when Mike and Mary decided to make Arcadia, they managed to acquire a few tins of old Arcadia tobacco from collectors. They pulled it apart strand by strand. They smoked each component separately. They smoked whole blends many times until they managed to recreate the tobacco as closely as they could with the tobaccos available to them. And it is amazing blend, but how much work they put into it, it's incredible.
Yeah. That is also a reason why, let's take the Scottish mixer from McBaron, for example. They advertise it, 27 blends is in that blend. And sometimes people ask why so many. Well, it's a very common blend, and it has to be always the same. And you have a natural product, so you have to have a lot of blends, and that way it's way easier to keep it consistent. That is one of the main reasons, I think, on that. If you have only 3 components, you depend more on the year-to-year quality. So you will notice changes. It's all the same at whiskeys. You cannot recreate a single malt, which is absolute fabulous 1 year, and in another year it's maybe not so good.
Does anybody know if pipe smoking is it plateauing? Is it going down? Is it going up? I mean, what's the general health of the industry?
We asked this question to just about every guest speaker that we have on, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, their answers are all over the map, right? Yes. That there are some of the speakers who have said that they've seen an increase, like Nikolai last week was saying, he sees an increase in sales and a lot more, younger smokers coming into the shop and buying pipes and wanting to know about pipes. And we talked to Mark from Ryan and Ryan and Daughters and Ryan. We'll get it straight. And he's like, no, it's in the toilet and it will never be the same again. And so it's very interesting. One thing is that the tobacco market is segmented. There are tobacco suppliers, blenders and retailers, wholesalers and retailers. Then we have pipe makers, both the commercial pipe makers and artisans. And then we have people who run retail shops, tobacco stores. And from, for a long time, they have had to include cigars in order just to make it run. And so it's like the story about the 3 blind men and the elephant. It depends on what part of the elephant you're touching to describe what the industry is like.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever be what it once was, obviously, but I think I mean, look at the Sun Bear release. I mean, that hit at midnight and it was gone. I mean, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, tried to order some, it was gone. It's the 10,000 tins. So yeah, and there's waiting lists on every, decent pipe makers list. So, I mean, I think it's in a much better spot now than it was several years ago.
Yeah, the best answer we got is basically from LJ Peretti, Stephen from LJ Peretti. I don't know, DDRP, remember you asked him that question. And he basically, you asked him, where do you see the pipe smoking in 5 years? And to me, that kind of brick and mortar is the pulse of actually that you need to get an answer to. And according to Stephen Pomperetti, he see basically pipe smoking steady or increasing in 5 years. Because the best answer he gave you is he said, this is the cheapest way to smoke. Is basically pipe smoke. It takes time, but this is the cheapest way to smoke. So I agree with Stephen Peretti, LJ Peretti, Stephen from LJ Peretti, that it's steady and then it's probably going to increase in 5 years. It's just a matter of good representation on what pipe smoking is all about.
Yeah. So as long as we remain a vice industry, we're good.
Yeah.
I think a lot of cigar smokers are moving into pipes because of the cost. Cigar
Yes.
prices are going up, and yet you can buy a tin of tobacco and get, what, 20, 30 smokes out of it. You can't do that with a cigar.
Yeah, you get 20
Well,
or 30
in-
smokes for the price of one good cigar.
Yeah.
Well, in
But-
India, it's slowly picking up thanks to this technology. Now the online stores, because in India we don't have so many tobacco shops, and availability of tobacco is also very, very, very restricted. But thanks to the technology in the online stores, we have been able to get a regular supply of good tobaccos and good pipes, and it is picking up. And well, for that matter, even the other day when we had the Danish pipe shop owner, when he said there are some ridiculous regulations coming into force in Denmark, but in spite of that, he says, well, his business is okay. He's not really bothered about the business. It's not going to die anytime soon. So I think slowly it's again picking up, because, if fashion is like a cycle, everything moves. And at some point, it again comes back to that old war. So maybe in another, say, 5-10 years, cigars and cigarettes. In India alone, we have about 5,000, 6,000 people smoking cigars. And about 40% of them also smoke pipes. So it is slowly picking up. And I hope, if not to that level of 60s or 50s, it comes back to a respectable level over a period of time.
Well, I think we can all conclude that if the industry is not growing, it's not because of the BPC members. And a very good question for Shane Ireland when we have him on as well.
Yes. Yeah.
My bank statement will
totally agree.
confirm that. Alan.
Well, listen, gentlemen, it is about that time. We've got 3 minutes left, so you don't need to rush off. We have. You can hang with me for just another couple minutes. First of all, I want to, so that I don't forget, to give a huge thanks to the BPC executive committee. I'm not even sure what we call ourselves, but David Martinez-Riz, Oliver, Jürgen, Tim Heineck, everybody who's on that committee. Thank you so much. For the rest of you who don't know, every week they do things like welcome the new members in, make sure that all the posts get up so that everybody can see them and do shares. And by the way, all y'all who have not shared the live stream, I don't know. What do I have to do? Come to your house. I'll send David Ruiz to your house. So thank you guys. You're awesome and I love you. Fantastic. The second thing is I want to thank all the people who are watching us over there on the live streams on Facebook and YouTube. We had a lively conversation going on over there, and I have to thank everybody for keeping it pretty cordial. In all of the months, over a year that we've been in existence, it's always been a very convivial group, very well-mannered, very respectful to everybody. And as long as we keep that up, I think we have a good future in front of us because, I agree with Alvin. We're doing our part, right, to keep pipe smoking going. Anyway, so I was just about to stop saying anything about washing your hands and wearing masks, and now, of course, the zombie apocalypse is back upon us once again. So, as the governor of Alabama just said, get your damn shot. and or do whatever you have to. Like I said, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I am not the boss of you, but please keep yourself safe, and that way we can see you next week. Right on. All right.
Well, I got
All right.
second vaccination
All right.
yesterday, so I will be fine. So goodbye, and
We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
All right.
See you guys
Bye,
next
everyone.
week.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
week.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Great week.
bye.
Bye.